Okay, so lots of Rumble already. Callista Draven against Hansama. These are the Hansama Classics. No surprise there. Renata, Glask, Ashe, and Nocturne. Welcome back. Congrats on the new baby. Yeah, that's why just so you guys know, I'm not the most up to date on the old League of Legends right now. I mean, I've definitely looked at the changes and played a little bit, but I have been dealing with the new baby. We brought the new baby home today, so this is the first day of new baby at home. So it's been a bit crazy, just so you guys know. So I'm gonna be catching up with you guys on the stream on the new meta.
Okay, maybe Abelos is pretty good. You Emax, you get as much lethality as possible. We're seeing a mix of builds. Storm Raider into IE Bloodthirster or Collector into IE Bloodthirster as well if you want that little bit of extra lethality early on.
Okay, so Aphelios, lethality of Aphelios I know has been big.
Have to pick the AD carry here, of course can do it on. So it was Milio. Lucian Milio locked in here for Karmine Court. That will be up on your screen in a second. Yesterday, of course, we saw the Lucian Nami coming out from KC. Milio gives the Lucian just that little bit more range. Also, I think he has a little bit more safety than the Nami. Double shields.
Ryan, a little star at home. Yeah. He's doing well.
Disengage on the champ, and obviously his ultimate being that massive cleanse helps you out a ton. Does mean you probably want to be a little bit more engaged.
We did see more Milio hit Worlds, but mostly as like a Renata Glass counter. So it's interesting to see more Milio in the meta in general. What's my favorite LPL team? Well, it was LNG last year. It's probably still going to be LNG, honestly. But I'll have to wait and see how some of the new rosters play before I decide. Why the Nocturne ban? Is it OP? I think Nocturne's probably good right now because it's harder to gank in general. So, you know, having the Nocturne ultimate, especially at the professional level, probably makes it a lot easier to gank post 6.
So Saken's answer or Bo's jungler. I think those are the two options Karmine Court are looking towards, and it's going to be the Nico. So fair amount of wave clear. I feel like Nico does a good enough job, especially in the lane until LeBlanc.
Have I seen the games yet? No.
Keeping that one stable and not really super volatile as LeBlanc tends to make plays.
I don't think Tarzan has been picked up by anybody.
You would expect that because they've got fourth pick.
Did you hire one of those government-approved nannies? No. My wife was at Joriwan, which is like postnatal spa for women. So like in Korea, they interesting Poppy ban. I mean, Poppy's still really good. Poppy's always good. Oh, gets experimental hex plate. Yep, that's true. The new item. Anyway, in Korea, the women can go after they give birth to like a nice style hotel where they get help taking care of the babies. So it's like they have all-night nurses in a baby room. So they take care of your baby at night so that you can sleep. And then they make you food and give you massages, and it's crazy. So she's been there for a week. She just dumped me with our other kids. So I had to single dad for the last week while she was in the baby spa.
Before joining G2 last year. G2 have got rid of the Jace for Cabochard in the top lane. I mean, there isn't really much flex about Karmine Core's composition. You don't ever really see Nico top, and Lucian Milio is always going to be bot lane, so you know that Jace ban is targeted specifically.
Right, nurse AD LeBlanc, then adds the perfect fleet item for AD LeBlanc. Well, yeah, well, we don't want AD LeBlanc. That's an abomination.
You're going down to things maybe like a Viego, maybe like a Vi, if you want a little bit more engage.
Skirmish.
Is it far from where you? I don't know what the baby spot. No, I mean I could go visit them. It's like a 15-minute drive.
A little bit earlier, something with powerful level 6 spikes on both the top and the jungle. Try and fire around the dragon. Try and fire around the void.
Is that post-nil spa stuff reasonably priced? I mean, yeah, for like 24/7 care. I think it was like $1,500 or something like that for a week, including all food, everything.
It's a bounce house. So it's very good for Karmine Core if they can get that lead. Kennen locked in for G2. Riftmaker Kennen is something I've been seeing quite a bit of. Alongside that, Viego for Yike, which kind of answers the power of the
Storm Surge Kennen. Yeah, so burst AP damage into Viego reset seems good for G2. With the amount of burst in the game right now, I guess it makes sense that you have, you know, strong reset champs coming into the meta.
I would like something like this Malphite. Decent in lane in terms of answering out Kennen can really make Kennen's life a bit of a hell, to be honest with you. And then, of course, Aphelios consistently has to worry about that unstoppable force. So I like this round out. It now gives Karmine two very solid forms of engage as well, which, to me, Handsummer is going to be on his toes the entire time.
Picking the Kennen into the Melio is interesting, because you would think it would negate a lot of Kennen's value.
So far back. No Gale Force in the game, remember, so he can't just dash away. I mean, we're all saying our thanks to Papa Freak for that one, but it's going to be very difficult for Handsummer to navigate later game teamfights, especially with the flank potential of Nico as well. I do wonder, and I want your thoughts on this, Jamada, is this a game where maybe you flex away from the AD LeBlanc? Maybe you say, we've got Viego, we have the damage.
Little AP heavy for Malphite. Well, it depends on whether LeBlanc is AD or AP in this build.
It does feel a little bit more like an AP LeBlanc game than it does an AD. I mean, if you do go
Yeah, like they're talking about right now. Volume okay for everything?
Kennen has always been a champion when his numbers are in a good spot.
You're just getting back into watching what the fuck is going on with TSM. I mean, typical TSM, they lied to their fans and are douchebags. Also, guys, what's hilarious is that the GM of TSM, who is the one who is like, oh yeah, you know, it takes some time to make these deals. He literally left as being the GM of TSM and went to work at Razer, the hardware company. So who the fuck knows who's doing anything over there anymore? I mean, I'm enjoying every second of it. I think this shit's hilarious.
That's what they say. The LEC always pays its debts like a Lannister. We're there, even if stayed with the crowd and with all the lights and everything. Is there anywhere
top lane unless relatively volatile?
Oh my god, game delays. Get me out, dude. This is it's fucking League of Legends is fucking unwatchable live.
Finally ready to make it onto Summoner's Rift.
Amount of wasted time is just ridiculous.
And now here we go. Onto the Rift. I really feel
Alright, I'm gonna move my camera.
we need a
There. Alright, that's good, right guys? Feeling good about this? Camera placement?
And away they go and into the first corner. Here goes Saken running down towards the bottom side Tribush.
Oh, I'm gonna get myself comfortable and move this camera around a little bit. Hold up.
All staying pretty stalled, it seems here, Jamada.
Yeah.
As Karmine Cora just waiting.
There we go.
It's a pit stop, perhaps.
They're expecting G2 to green light through this Tri-Brush.
Yeah.
There, guys.
Set out the safety car of Handsummer.
Alright, actually I do want to go back and watch this real quick.
The draft gets lights out and away we go.
Because level 1s are going to be really different now with all the brush changes.
And into the first corner. Here goes Saken running down towards the bottom side Tribush. Looking to see if you make that apex, but instead they're just all staying pretty stalled, it seems here, Jamada.
Yeah.
As Karmine Cora just waiting for the red lights once again. It's a pit stop, perhaps.
They're expecting G2 to green light through this Tri-Brush.
Yeah.
This weekend has been awful so far. Why has it been awful? I mean, it's interesting. It must be somewhat interesting, right? Because we have a brand new season. Big patch.
Didn't use it. You can see Yike and Broken Blade taking this opportunity to step up, hit that top side jungle, get their own vision down, and they'll spot both.
Tons of delays, but we can skip the delays. That's the beauty of bangers only. Pure, unadulterated, black tar League of Legends straight to your veins.
Both the bot lanes will not be leashing, we expect.
The level of play has been bad. Well, what do you expect? I mean, guys, the pro players... Look, guys, respectfully, this region... The patch came out 5 days ago. It came out 3 days before the league started. You know, I know they've been scrimming on it for a while, but not having access to it in solo queue. In solo queue, even if it's not the pro players, you have the million monkeys with the million typewriters, like figuring out OP champs and builds and everything like that. Yeah, there's new players. I mean, this was definitely going to be a clown fiesta because Riot couldn't put out the preseason patch, right? Or didn't, because they had to go on holidays. This is what I don't understand about Riot's schedule, is that it's another Riot-created problem. If you want to take time off for Christmas and New Year, don't change the entire season, or don't start the pro scene in January. Start it a month later.
30 wins, 8 losses. Almost an 80% win rate on the Viego.
That's a crazy stat.
I mean, it's very impressive. Caps is running Fleet. We'll have a look at all the runes, but expectations are with the Fleet footwork that he is going for the AD LeBlanc we have heard so much about.
I think that's fine as well. Yeah. Again, to kind of harp back on the point from earlier on, it does mean that Broken Blade will be the sole AP. There's a lot more onus on Karmine Core members to kind of build up armor, because that's a majority of the damage profile they'll take, and that does mean that Broken Blade should have a little bit of an easier time dealing damage across the board to the members of Karmine Core when he does find the backline.
I much agree with that. Oh, I didn't mean to press that button, but there's the XP per level. We'll take that down. We'll continue to see Broken Blade pushing in the top.
What was Treats' tweet about the removal of Stopwatch? I think it's good that Stopwatch was removed. It was becoming really oppressive. Thoughts on the new items? Thank you, Chip102. Welcome back, 89 months. What a hero. I don't have a lot of thoughts on the new item yet, guys, because I had another kid, so I haven't had a lot of time to do the research, so I'm going to be learning a lot about the new items as we watch here. I mean, I think from what I've played so far, Storm Surge seems like really good. I know they hot fixed it, but a lot of the burst seems real crazy right now, in my opinion. Lethality also very good at the moment, it seems.
So far can look down towards this bottom lane. Mickey and Hansama only level 2.
Yes, Bo knows that Yak's not on this side of the map, so this time
Yeah, less ability haste, more damage.
Forward, Bo starts to tank Mickey with the root, though. Bo will fall 1-for-1. Targamas gets the kill, and Mickey gets another. But the
it's okay.
now on the board.
Cross-map response from Karmine Core, seeing Yak try to pressure Cabo Shard. They get the kill onto Hans, they get both his summoner spells, and he'll miss out on a fair bit of the wave. So Karmine Core are happy with the result. They can go back for a reset or even stick around if they want that plate. Feel be a little bit greedy on the tempo, so they will back away.
I think backing away is the right choice, as you say. You want to make sure that you get back in time for the next.
Yeah, they removed a lot of the haste. There's more burst damage, which, you know, I'm not really a fan of. I really wish, you know, especially in the off season, reviewing like a lot of the older matches, it really reminds you how long team fights used to be. And the burst of this game is just so insane now. I mean, look at this. This is ostensibly a tank character, right? And he's full HP. And he's close to his turret, right? Yeah, he doesn't have flash, but... Am I going to start Power Spike next week? Yes, Power Spike will start next week. Money and Wolf Show will start next week. Summoning Insight will be on Tuesday this week. All the shows coming back. We've got new sponsors for this year. Everything's good.
Towards this bottom side with Hansama having no sums and Mickey in the same boat. You can see now Yike is coming down here.
Why are we chanting Ale Ale?
Making sure that any gank can't happen. Of course, it could still happen, and he just counter ganked it.
Okay, we need to turn down crowd mic. This is crazy. They're literally louder than the casters. By the way, guys, I think with the new map, this is just what things are going to look like, right? Dives are so much easier. So let's talk about this a little bit. Here's my initial thoughts. Also, just having played some jungle now on the Korean server and thought about it, it's much harder to gank blue side because this new tri-brush is just really easy. If you look down here, it's just really easy to wrap around and gank red side from behind. It's a lot harder to do that because you'd have to go all the way around if you're trying to sneak in. Whereas this is just a little bit faster. And also just for the angle. because this kind of curves here as opposed to this curving in here. So this curves back towards the turret instead of curving out into the lane. Like it doesn't look like this right here. So it just seems that blue side has a gank advantage in bot with the way that the game has changed. But it's a lot harder to gank, obviously, because this brush right here is no longer there. And you just have this one pixel brush. So lane ganks, I think you're going to see be more common. And also just dives. Oh, we can't see my arrows. What? I just set this up again. What is this? What? Wow. There you go. What? Already scuffed. All right, so what I was saying is, basically, you know, this entrance right here is a lot easier. So it's a lot easier to gank from behind if you're the blue jungler, especially because this is a pretty efficient path, whereas this is kind of janky all the way around, right? And this also is like this instead of being cut like this. You also no longer have this brush right here to hide in. So we're not going to see as many ganks. But what this does open up is we saw the dive coming through this way, and now we're going to see a dive coming through this way. So it seems like a lot of the more efficient pathing is done through dives. So I think we're going to see more dives in general and more lane ganks just from how easy it is to gank on the map. This is very difficult to gank. You know, and generally speaking, your team is not going to, your team is, you know, not going to have this brush control all the time. Like it goes back and forth constantly now, you know, between teams. And so they're covering right now with the pink ward for Yike. He's going to come in. But I think we could expect to see probably lots of kind of dives. Also, ganking top is really fucking hard now. Ganking top is really challenging, which I think adds an interesting dynamic to the game, honestly. Like, I'm not upset by the fact that ganking top, but because the way they changed it is so you can only come in behind the turrets and you still only have the pixel brush and lane, this is really tough to gank. It's really tough. But if you do have a champion that can gank efficiently into top lane, especially, you know, maybe that's why Nocturne is banned a lot of the time, because post 6, you could really tilt the top lane matchup. So this is tough. Like, they have to be pushed, you know, way up like Kennen in order for this gank to really be viable. Yeah, it's hard. So it also means that top laners are alive. So I think we're probably going to see more skirmishes in the early game around, you know, contesting Void Grubs, which is probably where most of the top lane deaths are going to occur. If I had to guess, they're probably mostly going to happen in contesting Void Grubs. This is all just my theory crafting, guys. This is literally the first professional game I have seen on the new season. I have not seen any of the games.
Because they've kind of camped Cabochard, not necessarily out of the game, but for the first 5 minutes. Do they want to keep the pressure up, right? That wave was bouncing back. Broken Blade has crashed it now. Was it going to be a grab angle? They went for the dive instead. No Dragon Eva, but it does kind of undo some of that damage from the early gank from Bo.
Very much agree. And I do think G2 have this track record of gank Broken Blade a couple of times, get him into a good spot, and then accept that he can win the lane from this position, right? Like, Broken Blade is taking plates for free. There's only a Ruby Crystal on Cabbage.
Now, I kind of like the top lane just being a more isolated matchup, though, with less jungle interference.
Actually play out this lane. Wouldn't be surprised with the pressure that the priority in the top lane, Broken Blade being able to move first here. Yike starts the grubs. Bo is on this side of the map as well, but it's actually really hard.
I like the Void Grubs a lot. I think it's really fun.
You just put a ward in the tri-bush, and how is Bo going to get in here?
Yeah, exactly. It's very difficult. Not only that, Cap's traded some of his health bar. Flea as well will help out later on, but just making sure.
The hook landing there. Upset. Cleanses away, dashes away. Cozy Campfire tops him up a little bit, but you can see the damage that Mickey and Hans Summer are starting to put down.
Now, will Yike Go straight across the map expecting a dragon takedown, but Bo is actually looking for the gank instead of the objective.
I feel like a win harder mechanic. Yeah, but you only have to take 2 grubs to prevent your enemy from, you know, having a huge advantage.
No summoners is taken out. Bo secures the kill. Mickey bolt breaking across the wall. Targum splashes forward.
Go straight across the map expecting a dragon.
I mean, this is just good pathing from Vi.
Bo is actually looking for the gank instead of the objective, and he's kind of gone across all of the
One of the champions that has an easier time doing this because he doesn't have to go all the way around the dragon pit, right?
Gets the kick. Mickey with a good hook. Bo rooted up. Upset flashing forward as well as Hansama. No summoners is taken out. Bo secures the kill. Mickey trying to keep the wave away from his tower, but can't do so. Yike nowhere near the area to assist. Slicing Maelstrom in the top lane forces Cabochard out. Has hit 6, so he has the unstoppable force and the flash to get away. Yike will go into the top side jungle to try and steal away some camps, make up some of the loss that happened in the bottom lane, but
They're not going full AD. They still have the cannon.
unfortunate for Upset, he didn't get the kills.
Yeah, that's about the only bad thing right now for Karmine Core. Whilst the pressure is
Right,
there,
they're just trying to shut
no
down
kill,
Hansama.
gone towards Upset, so there's no gold difference, or gold lead rather, between the two AD carries. And G2 continue to just try and take away resources on the top side when and where they can.
God, they have to turn down these crowd mics. This is so annoying.
Like G2, for the most part, probably pretty happy with this. The Aphelios is still scaling up relatively well against this Lucian.
I think that's the thing, right? You are putting him behind. The Lucian is getting assists.
Man, soccer fan culture is the absolute worst.
About to come back up. They've only taken 1 plate. And in the end, is the pressure you've applied
As an American, I can't handle this.
to negate the pressure that Broken Blade now has in the top lane. You can see Cabochard has gone Spectre's Cowl first on the Malphite because he knows he needs some magic resist to be able to survive through this lane.
I mean, he could realistically sit on it.
Just
The magic
passionate,
resistance
mate.
tanks,
I don't care. It's annoying.
Season, but you're right.
I'm passionate about quality gameplay.
Karmine Core have gone top of this dragon. G2 are here. Is it going to be at 50-50? They're angling for it. They're trying to go around.
Yike walking in. Seiken uses the clone to watch if anything awry is happening, and Bo secures the first Drake of the game. G2 do have 3 grubs. Those will be spawning relatively soon as well, so maybe G2 are just looking for that trade. They have top side control. They do not have bot side control, so trying to play for early dragons is against the theme of their team so far.
Yeah, just the flow of play. Yeah. All right, and for Karmine Core, it's good that they finally got this dragon in with all of the pressure that they put down.
Passionate about quality gameplay. Well, this is the only gameplay I can watch right now. Trust me. We will not be doing all of the LEC and LCS games on this stream. Trust me. We'll have a lot of LPL and LCK to watch soon.
With Hansama and Yike here, Targamas with a breath of life, but it's not enough to save himself from death. Now Upset's caught on the wrong side of the rift. Mickey low, Upset takes him, but Yike answers, follows suit with a kill of his own. Seiken coming in, the pop blossom flashed away, but the airborne still lands, sees the assist as well. Hansama could heal, but he can't get the shurikens down in time. Yike trying to trade 1v2 as he takes out Seiken, and now Yike has a whole litany of spells at his disposal. Dashes in with a heartbreaker, and has broken the heart.
Wow. I mean, this is just... I think the Viego is actually probably a pretty good pick at the pro level right now.
Trying to trade 1v2 as he takes out Seiken, and now Yike has a whole litany of spells at his disposal. Dashes in with a heartbreaker and has broken the hearts of the KC faithful here in the crowd.
4-0-1 for Yike. That was a huge...
This is going to get nasty, too, when you start to see the Kennen ults at some point in time, right?
And in the end, they're able to pick up so much. 4-0-1.
What's going on in top lane here? Because Cabo ulted the Kennen at one point. I'm looking at I'm looking at top lane. Yeah, Cabo ulted in.
Trying to trade 1v2 as he takes out Seiken, and now Yike has a whole litany of spells at his disposal.
LCK or LPL? I mean, I think LPL is probably just more competitive because they have probably a higher number of total good players, but a lot of it will depend on how well a lot of the new LCK players do. Like Africa, just from rumors and scrim results, seems to be doing pretty well, and you would think potentially after having another year with their lineup, who were a lot of rookies last year, that they might be kind of hitting their stride. Certainly exciting to see Genji and T1 I think. Hopefully new Hanwha is better. Don't have a lot of hope for KT, but
over the pushback from Mickey X and Upset is practically dead. It just takes a little while, and I will give Upset credit, puts out a fair amount of damage, but it's just not enough in the end.
yeah, the freaks are good, you know, and CV Max has had time to work his magic. Like I thought Bulldog was pretty good last year overall.
Champions worth of cooldowns in this brief skirmish in the bottom lane, and it becomes so difficult to trade with him because you can see he comes out here, gets the root, gets the damage.
Yikes, Viego mechanics are very clean.
Has his own spells back up, and Bo, all he can do is punch, man. He's Saitama, but his punches aren't strong enough.
And this is what we spoke about, right? Those first couple of resets that start coming in skirmishes are so potent. And we get to see a case study of exactly why.
When does LCK start? 2 days. Starts in 2 days. So later this week, guys, we'll do some LCK bangers only. Yeah, I mean the KDF. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, misspoke. No, KT is not a razor cake this year, guys. Yeah, just taking a look at how this has actually played out. I mean, the lane dominance of the AD LeBlanc, now especially with Static Shiv and the Kennen versus Malphite, has really made it very easy for them to kill all of the Void Grubs, and they got 6, so that's pretty bad. Especially because you're going to have this split push AD LeBlanc now. That shit's so annoying.
Very smart. Dash forward and out.
So he can just waste his ult there. What was the point of that?
Jump in and Sigil of Malice, mimic it and do extra damage, or you can jump in and then mimic your distortion and just jump out. It's so easy. The Void Mites, their merry little charge. Neither of them will get any damage down.
They're so cute.
They are very cute, although they do come from the.
No, I'm not getting excited about KT, guys. Beryl and Pioshik being on that team, they're dead to me.
You know? No.
Couldn't even keep Cuz.
You don't get like excited scared ever?
Excited scared? Well, yeah.
That's why people watch like horror movies, or when you go on like a ride, like Nemesis at Alton Towers or something, like a theme park, right?
Like it might be a razor cake, guys, but you can see the razors sticking out of this KT cake. You can see the razors. It's definitely, it's definitely not going to be a surprise.
You have, but it's okay. I'm prepared for the gear for this meta.
Hope that Perfect will turn out to be good. Yeah, maybe, but I'm more excited about Gen G, honestly. The Chovy Canyon connection.
He's isolated from his team and he'll be shut out. Yikes, still looking for more. And someone with Infernum, Gravitimus, Broken Blade has the flank on here. Upset has Flash and Cleanse, uses the Cleanse but still gets stunned.
I wonder if Seiken, if he had... Wow, why is he going... What? Why are we fighting this, G2?
You have, but it's okay. I'm prepared for the gear for this meta.
It's going to be fun, right?
It is.
It's going to be fun watching these two teams battle it out on the Rift as well. Karmine Core trying to get control. Around the Dragon, Mickey going in, Bo jumping across the wall, and now Mickey's isolated from his team, and he'll be shut out.
I mean, you know you're a man down in that situation, because Broken Blade and Caps are still collapsing.
Upset has Flash and Cleanse, uses the Cleanse, but still gets stunned. Broken Blade exhausted.
The most confusing thing is Yike going in there.
Flash and Cleanse, still looking for more. And someone with Infernum, Gravitimus, Broken Blade has the flank on here. Upset has...
Like, because the dash has already been used from LeBlanc, and Yike just goes ahead and flashes in. And just gets ulted by Bo. They should know that the Vi ult is still up. Will you and Wolf be making power rankings? We will have our first Monty and Wolf show early next week. So after the first week of LCK competition. What do I think about the T1 roster running it back? I'm really excited about the T1 roster. I think it's fun to see them run it back, especially since it appears they may have overcome their nerves in finals. So it could be a time of T1 dominance. I'm really sad JDG didn't run it back, though, because having that rivalry for another year would have been really fun.
A little bit unfortunate from G2, not able to kind of get all of their focus fire onto one target.
And Hans has to play so far back because he doesn't have Flash and he doesn't have heal. How can you ever step forward into the enemy team when they have a control-warded bush and you have no opportunity to get close without being jumped on by a Nico or by a Vi or even by Cabochard, who could have TP'd into that fight? I believe he did have...
The winner of MSI go to Worlds guaranteed? Yes. as the winner of MSI, I think gets minimum 4th seed at Worlds. Not a big change that I like, frankly. There's just too much time and between MSI and Worlds and too many different patches that you could end up sending like a pretty bad team. There's not... I don't see a problem with having the gauntlet qualifiers. If anything, I would just say MSI winner is guaranteed a spot in the gauntlet, right? That seems good enough for me. Is China in an esports winter too, or is JDG just specifically too expensive? I don't know what the situation with esports sponsorship and everything is in China at the moment. Holy moly, the Void Mites.
And that's a hell of a lot of Void Mites, but they're all gonna die. No, it's like Lemmings. You ever play Lemmings?
Well, no, I've not played Lemmings. Oh well, he's using it for a rotation, so this one doesn't.
He's just super speedy, you know. Yeah. Gets him to blue buff quicker, can try and direct it towards the mid lane.
Wait, really?
On the charge, I think, where it chucks
yeah.
And there
all right.
it goes.
It's about 10 seconds, I think. Thereabouts. Upset will kill it. Get some gold.
Bring back Zerat. I do miss Zerat Portal in some way. That was a fun item.
Well, not here in the arena.
Anyway, I think JDG was just a bunch of the players were on 1-year deals, and paying another 16 million to keep that roster together, I guess, was not something that they thought was worthwhile. There's no way, even in China, you could make $16 million on a League of Legends roster. You are guaranteed to lose money.
You can see relatively even between the laners, bot lane, similar, mid lane, similar. Yike, the only one with a
And especially when you know, the one way to kind of make money back is to have those world skins.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those games where Third Dragon really makes or breaks.
But if you don't win Worlds, you don't get them.
Of the remainder, just simply because it's been pretty apparent G2 have been happy to give up these dragons, right? Took Herald, got all of the grubs, so that's been the game plan from minute one. Karmine need to continue to stack these ones up if they want to feel confident moving into the later stages of the game.
So then how do you set up around a dragon like this? Say you're G2, you know you have to fight it. Is there a specific path you want to take? Is there a specific vision setup you'd like to have to make sure that you can fight this next trade?
Well, first off, mid lane control is always very, very important. So hopefully at some point, probably in around 6...
This Malphite really has not done anything. I'm not sure about this pick, the reasoning behind it.
And then they'll have caps on this bottom side of the map where that tier 1 just dropped. And you kind of just try and sync up the wave.
Imagine if this was like a Jace instead. Because, you know, they opted into... I mean, you can play Jace into the Kennen matchup, right?
Drop some wards down and get yourself some information and also provide Broken Blade some potential TP flanks later on. That's the angle for G2. If you're Karmine, you want to try and stop...
Seems to me that with the new lane setup, it should be easier, even easier to play Jace topside.
Once you see those numbers kind of gather from G2,
And the changes to lethality. Has anybody played Jace yet?
and try and take down a key target so you can then move into the river yourself and get a bit of a base of operations going around the dragon.
I think something often that's missed by the layperson
Is Cabo a Jace player?
is how important lane prio is to getting vision control over something. Because you see an objective come up and you're like, I'm going to run towards that dragon. I'm going to sprint towards it. I'll go through my jungle. But going through mid means that you know who is answering that wave. You know there is at least 1 or 2 people indisposed answering the wave, so then you can path into the river.
It is like coaching 101 in the mid game. You always just try and...
Wasn't Jace banned in this one? Was he?
Push through mid, wait for someone to answer the lane, and once you kind of have a rough idea where everyone
Rumble
is,
was banned.
safe. You see it all the time in solo queue. People will disrespect.
It was Rumble, Ashe, Callista,
Following the fundamentals from League of Legends.
Renata.
Done it relatively well over the years.
I don't think so.
Also have Karmine Core, just in the ERLs.
Oh, G2 banned Jace. All right, there you go.
Walk his way away. Frozen Heart second here on Bow. Very cheap, very effective item right
That
now.
makes sense.
Playing to multiple ADs.
That makes sense. If they're going to pick Kennen, that they would ban the Jace. So apparently Dylan Falco thinks the same way I do.
And one magic, so having that
He's probably better at draft than I am, though. Just a thought there. I think he might be better at draft than me.
Especially when you're diving in, you get a lot of value out of that attack speed slow too. So feels good if your bow at the minute to be at 2 items. Kind of take a look at the rest of the inventories. 2 items Forsaken, Storm Surge, and Rocket Belt, of course. Still waiting on that second item for Caps as he teleports back out, or is rather resaying. Again, oh, did he forget?
I hope we get to see some Zeus Jace at some point.
About to base and buy our second item. Perhaps a little bit of
He
a
must be
mispick.
sitting on a ton of gold.
Yeah, there you go.
Thoughts on Duffman back to G2? I'm sure he will be useful. He's very good at, like, kind of handling player personalities, in my opinion.
Just think of it as a magic resist Sunfire cape. Easiest explanation, that's what it does. When you take damage, you deal damage around you. And you have these little AoE bursts as well if you kill an enemy. So it's nice. Does basically what Sunfire cape does, as we see the Baron spawning under the Rift Scuttler.
So scary this season.
Karmine Corp will just start up this Drake.
They will.
Don't really have vision control. They are pushing through mid. Karmine Corp aren't answering it. They seem to be willing to sacrifice their mid tower for this. As you can see, Hansama still pushing forward. 2,000 HP on the Dragon, and G2 have given.
All right, they just game announcement on Killfire Red.
Gets the flash out. There's the hook, but can you really follow up on this? Because the rest of KC are on their way in. TP behind.
Big Kennen TP. Come on, Karmine Corp. This is so terrible, honestly. This is so fucking bad. Are you kidding me? So you know the turret's going down. Like, this is so terrible, guys. Okay. Seiken's here. He can't interrupt TP. Kennen's here. The minion wave is here and pushing this direction. And Cabashard, he's like, ooh, Aphelios, right? But his team isn't there. His team isn't there. And so it doesn't matter. Right? Hansama flashes it. So he's like, oh, got flash, guys. But now they've basically set them up for the freest flank of all time. There's no chance for a TP interrupt. You take a bunch of damage. Purple gun Aphelios, right? It's so fucking bad. Like, Seiken needs to be communicating with his team that he can't interrupt Kennen TP. And they need to pay attention to minion wave states. Oh, what the fuck, dude? Okay. Nico ult, question mark ping, question mark ping. How come I can't question mark ping in VOD reviews? I need that capability. Like, I get he thought he might catch Yike under the turret, and Yike just GTFO'd, but my god, dude. Seiken just completely dropped the ball there. He needs to either rotate faster and be like, look, guys, I can't stop Kennen TP, but I'm coming, or he needs to stick to Kennen so he can stop TP. Also, Cabashard, like, you got the dragon. You have the dragon. Why are we trying to engage? Like, I get that Cabo's bored because he's done nothing all game. He's like, oh, got the flash. They had two different. It's so bad. It's not even an excuse of like there was potentially like a ward there that you didn't know about. It's literally just the minion wave, man. Yuck. Yeah, what the fuck happened there? Oh, I see. It was a Vi Q. Wait, what the fuck? He vault breakered into Viego ult. That looks so crazy. It's a good play.
Looks very, very weird in live. Looks very, very weird in live, but hey, yikes out.
I think Roman was mad that they gave up the Drake.
So
He was like, what? Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
But I will say, even though now, if we kind of speak about this game briefly from the Karmine Core perspective, right? They're down 4,000 gold. They still have those 3 dragons. Infernal Soul is going to feel very, very nice to pick up no matter how you slice it. So for now, they've got that kind of win condition to lie on. And if they can do something to try and mitigate this Baron power play potentially from G2.
You can soundboard question mark ping. Yeah, but I want the question mark ping graphic too. I do have fun new soundboard things though. You guys will see once it's all set up.
Got the engage options there to shut down a push. They just have to find the numbers advantage, and it could be onto Broken Blade down here.
And we often talk about press archons, right? Like, at any point in the game, if you are within some semblance of a gold lead, press archon works perfectly. There you go. Decent assists coming out. Dash away from Caps.
Okay. Cabashard ult.
Unable to get there before the second distortion. Caps tries to block, dashes back with the distortion. Puts some damage back onto Cabashard. The chase will continue. Yike is on his way. Can jump the wall. Misses the spectral.
This is so annoying, dude. Like the fleet footwork on the LeBlanc is just so annoying.
Flashes away from the Heartbreaker. Bow on the wrong side of dodge now. But there's the pop. Blossom, it lands on 3. Doesn't put too much damage down yet. Hunt Summer exhausted, and Hunt Summer sent packing to the fountain.
Cavs recalls and then TPs back in. That's so funny. Did he buy an item?
He can jump the wall here. Flashes away from the Heartbreaker. Bow on the wrong side of dodge now. But there's the pop. Blossom, it lands on 3. Doesn't put too much damage down yet. Hunt Summer exhausted, and Hunt Summer sent packing to the fountain. In response, Bow will fall. Another hook lands as they try and catch out Seiken. Another Heartbreaker coming out from Yike as he takes out the enemy mid. Yike goes back forward, back. And Upset tries to dash in and out, but Caps will take him out in the end.
These Kirche shard items are so crazy. The energized autos stacking on the AD LeBlanc.
Cabashard stunned up, should be able to walk out of this, but Broken Blade with the minions might be able to take down this tower. Remember, they have 6 void grubs as well.
Yeah,
So you have the true damage, you have the mites, you have everything.
Yeah, I could mock up a question mark, but that would have to be an entirely new plugin. Right. It'd have to be like a home developed piece of software where I could change my cursor to that. I'm sure it can be done, guys.
Although Bo doesn't have any damage. His black cleaver frozen high. He just doesn't have the damage to get through them. Targamas! Oh, shuts him down.
The fleet heal almost came through. I saw the number pop up.
It was on its way to Caps, but couldn't quite get them in time. Targamas getting that shut down isn't the best, of course, for Karmine Core. It's better than some other supports because he's an Enchanter, so he's just building to buff up his team. Let's have another look at this.
Yeah, support items are very strong as well, but as you say, let's look at this. Caps just makes as much of a meal out of it as he can for Cabashard and Bow, and they're just not able to lock him down long enough. Caps tried to use his clone to
Dude, Cabashard's this Malphite has just been awful.
He does buy so much time that the entirety of G2 push up mid lane and come and respond.
Like they're so horny for the LeBlanc.
And they recognize once that he's kind of flashed out and away from the play, that Bow is just the next port of call. But this ultimate from Seiken,
I just don't understand. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we so horny for the LeBlanc? Like, there is no. Like, I get you're trying to stop the Baron push, but you really just want to play for the Drake, right? 8 seconds on Vile. Okay. He stopped it.
Cabo stops the TP. Cabo has a TP of his own if he can get away.
Stopped it with Malphite ult.
Season just hits on Hunt Summer down towards the bottom side. Those Mickey's trying to protect him. Bo putting the damage down onto the enemy AD carry. Hunt Summer winning out the fight, but he can't quite get the damage. Bo will take him. Caps and Yike now going towards the dragon. Bo down to 500 HP. The base in tatters, in shambles as Cabashard tries to defend. Another hook hit lands onto Seiken. Bo with the Vault Breaker across. They've given up the ghost on this Drake because they've lost the Nexus Tower. Broken Blade's going to be able to escape from Cabashard, who has finished a Jack show, but Upset's on his way, and the seismic shard will slow him down long enough. You have to feel for Cabo to clap him out, but Broken Blade.
I really like this new Radiant Hollow item. It's really nice to have the option as a tank to have the MR Sunfire. I think this is a great item.
Core's gamble to try and pick up that soul. For now, feels like a failing one. They lose the Nexus Tower. They do manage to pick up Hunt Summer in the midst of the action as we get a replay look, and teleport could have been very dangerous for KC to deal with, but not quite enough. But it's a fight on two fronts, really, right? Caps is 1v1ing upset. Yank comes over the wall to try and...
You know, the problem, I think the problem with this composition is that you have the Vi and the Malphite just to make the Aphelios' life hell. But Hansama just isn't, like, he needs to do some damage. And then what happens is the LeBlanc burst and then the Viego resets come in to, you know, finish somebody off and then get the reset ball rolling. So it really doesn't matter if Aphelios dies. And so I think it just as a result feels kind of doomed for Karmine Corp's composition, especially when they get behind. Yeah, Bo has been fine this game. I think he had a good early dive. His Vi mechanics have been on point. He's actually turned around some engagements and punished overextensions. He wasn't the issue there. On the LeBlanc, he comboed the LeBlanc pretty well. It's just they needed to stop pursuing. They pursued for too long.
Kind of learned throughout a lot of last year can be thrown out the window with one good team fight. So,
I mean,
whilst they might be several thousand gold down, it's okay. No flash, no way out. He's rooted. He's shut out, and that's one down. And as you said, they just shot.
I mean, you can't be clearing vision while your LeBlanc is, you know, next to the Malphite who has ult up again. Oh, thank you, physicist. Welcome back. You offer your sacrifice to the Korean hype train. Well, the Korean hype train's starting again. Can't wait for LCK to start this week. That's going to be really fun. Bo played that really well, right? Like blasts upset back into the team. Super nice. I mean, they could try and do Baron, but they're gonna. It's gonna. Yeah, their bot inhib is gonna go.
Control ward out. Yike has no more wards in his inventory. Goes forward. We'll see it's at 4,000. Dodges away from Bo. Upset. Now tanking the Baron. Means it takes less damage as well. 2,000 on it. Yike going forward. Heartbreakers across. Exhausted. And the shutdown comes out. The Nexus towers, though, the target is continues to push in. It's a traditional trade. Baron for Nexus, but they managed to hold on. The empowered recalls enough for Karmine Corp.
I think KC had to do that, though. I think they had to get the Baron, because if they don't get the Baron to, like, survive the waves of super minions, this game is just fucking over, right? Because they literally can't stop the 1-3-1 split push of Kennen and LeBlanc. Like, they can't do it. So you had to get the Baron there. I think they made the right call. So I think they 100% lose if they don't get Baron. So even though they almost lost the game anyway, I think that is definitely the right call. And G2 also made the right call just to try and end the game if they could.
As shoved out as they can possibly keep them. For now, this could just be a stabilizing Baron, bring them towards that Inferno and look to try and fight around that soul, try and finally pick it up. But it's still going to be a lot of options for both sides with the map so open.
And the issue for Karmine Corp is it's a minute and a half until the Drake spawns, but then 2 minutes after that, their bot lane inhibitor comes back up. So those super minions are always going to be something they have to deal with. And
the random Mickey X death, of course. You know, they overpressure sometimes, right? And especially when you're dealing with a pick composition, like we see Karmine Corp running, you just have to respect it while you're splitting. And you can't have your support just like clearing wards when you don't have vision on the other side of the pit when there's a Vi on the other side. Just a silly mistake. It's all right. G2's always like, they always have those moments. You know what I mean? You trade the brilliance for kind of a few int moments sometimes, and it's a trade you'll happily make because they'll win LEC again, of course. Kansas City even had an LEC team. Man, I wish they didn't have any teams in any sport.
chances, and it's not like this game's over. Still have the opportunity to turn this one around.
They'll look for that steal. 3 items complete on Upset and Seiken. 3 items as well on Caps. Has that Voltaic Cyclo Sword now. On Summer with Infinity, Bloodthirster, Stormrazor.
Oh man, the Voltaic Cyclo Sword charging up faster through dash is just so ridiculous. Like, how did they think this wasn't going to be used on LeBlanc?
Caps already level 18. Continues to try and run away, but Caps just going to fall here. Great play there by Karmine Court. They've given up the dragon.
They got some fleet footwork healing, I guess, but
they stopped that extra avenue of pressure from G2.
game announcement on Kill Fire Dragon Blue.
Cost him the flash, though.
Very cool tech, Riot Games.
Investment, but
Definitely working.
they keep the game afloat. They're not going to take a flip.
Yep, 3 energized items and fleet footwork. He's got 3 Cure Chase shard items and fleet footwork. And what's he going to build now? Trinity Force for fun?
You can see it's still 30 seconds before Caps comes back up.
Yeah, with Caps dead, it feels like a lot of the poke pressure from the side.
I like how they call it Fire Dragon instead of Infernal Dragon in the code. Why?
Standing gold kind of put back into their pocket as an engage coming through from Bo.
Mickey with a good buffer there to get the jump back out. Han Summer trying to trade with Upset, who cleanses away. All right, so McHale's who's actually used on him. Mickey with a re-engage.
Whoops.
Then uses the cleanse, but shut down by Yike. And now
No more McHale's.
Bo tries to flash a wall, but can't get away. Flash forward with a heartbreaker. As perhaps it's Karmine Court who fall foul of overstepping. Broken Blade in the base. Seiken can't hold him. Broken Blade now on the Nexus. Seiken's fallen, and Karmine Court's hope dashed against the rocks here. G2 show why they are still atop of the
Some sloppy play, I think, from Karmine Court. But there are some bright spots for sure. I think Bo played well. Upset played well. Seiken, their solo lane's kind of not great. But the Malphite, Cabo was bad on the Malphite. I think this was a weird draft thing, honestly, guys.